Hey guys, Akari here, and in this video I want to go through the 5 biggest challenges or things that are keeping you stuck from reaching that 10k plus per month goal. So over the past couple months I've had a ton of people apply to work with me, and in my application form there's one question which basically is, what is your biggest challenge right now? And so after reading all your guys' responses, I've got a pretty good idea of what you're struggling with. And so I thought I'd make a video just breaking down, the 5 biggest things and kind of like how to fix it, or like what to do to overcome these challenges. So I thought it would be super valuable for you guys because I think a lot of you get stuck on these. So anyway, let's get straight into the video. So the first biggest challenge is obviously outreach, right? So you're sending messages, probably hundreds, you're not getting replies, you might be getting ghosted, and you just want to get to the point where you're getting consistent replies, you're getting partnership calls, and then you finally can start building out a digital offer, right? So that's where the very first big thing that you guys are stuck on is the outreach, and I know that. And it is challenging. I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you like some other influencers and some other, well, I'm not going to call them influencers, other YouTubers, because it is like the most difficult part in the business. And I always tell my clients this as well. Like when they come on to work with me, I'm like, look, you might not enjoy this, but let's get through this period. I'm just asking for 1 or 2 months of patience, not like a 4-year university degree where you have to get a piece of paper. I'm just asking for 2 months to make 10k a month. Do you think that's fair? So yeah, 2 months of patience is all I'm asking. And it's a combination of not only skill, but consistency, okay? So, well, I should say strategy and consistency. Because if you don't have the right strategy, but you're consistent, it's not gonna work. And I think maybe that's where most of you guys are right now. You are consistent, potentially, but you're following a wrong strategy or something that is just not working. And if you've done this for hundreds of messages and you haven't even gotten many replies or any at all, or any partnership calls, then I can say with very 100% confidence, your strategy is wrong. And that's something obviously I could help you with. But then the second one is if you have the right strategy and you're inconsistent, that's also another problem, because you need to give enough time and enough effort for the strategy to actually work and play out. And so those are the 2 main things I would say when it comes to outreach, which is your biggest struggle, is having firstly the right strategy and being consistent. Because sending hundreds of messages is great, but I don't know what script you're sending. I don't know if your profile's optimized, if you're outreaching through email as well. There are so many variables, and why I think it's so valuable to get mentorship one-on-one, because I'm actually going to be able to look at your messages and give you feedback. Actually, I'll just give you my scripts that work. But anyway, that's the first thing, which is the outreach, okay? And so the second thing that you guys are struggling with is just not knowing where to get started. And it's a fair thing, to feel, because there's so much information on YouTube, and of course in this shadow operating space you have different people telling you different things. Look, I'm just going to say from my side, I'm telling you what I did when I launched my business with a fitness influencer, and we generated over 7 figures in 18 months. So I'm simply just sharing that strategy with you. I don't know the other shadow operators, how much they've made. I don't know who they've worked with. I don't know, but I'm just teaching you what I've learned. So I would say my channel is a great place to get started and to actually learn shadow operating. And yeah, I have a playlist on this, so you can just literally go to my channel and check out that playlist and watch all of those videos. I think you'll get a pretty good idea of where to get started. But after that, if you're still stuck and you're wait, what do I send? How do I do this? And you feel you need that extra help, well then just click that first link in the description. You can apply to work with me one-on-one. I'd be more than happy to help you and get this business up and running and stop wasting time, basically. So yeah, I think that is the second one. So we covered that. Look, you don't know where to get started. You're like seeing so many things online, you're getting confused. Well, now you know, check out the playlist and click the link below. All right. Okay, so let's get on to the not very third, you don't really say that, huh? The third point, which is building a digital offer. Okay. So look, like in the messages I've seen a lot of people asking about if you could use AI to build it, like what offer do you build for this creator, like all these things, right? But I'm going to answer this very simply for you because it is pretty simple. We build what the influencer agrees to, okay? So instead of just going ahead, launching some AI course that flops after a month, we actually reach out to the influencer. We first go out to the audience so we get some data of actually what they want and what pain points they have, so we can actually build something that they would get value from and that they would join, okay? So that's the very first step, is like, before we build anything, let's first ask their audience, like, hey, what do you want, right? And then we build it from that, and then we can actually ask the influencer if they're happy with that, and we go ahead and build the digital offer. Now, it could be anything from like a course, it could be a community, it could be one-on-one coaching. It really depends on the influencer's commitment to this. So like how much time they have, and also like if they actually want to do like coaching, or if they want a course, right? Because they need to be happy with the offer. They're going to be promoting it at the end of the day. So yeah, that's kind of like answers what to build. It depends on the influencer's audience, and it depends on what the influencer wants to do. But you kind of really have three things. So course, community, coaching. So yeah, that's the third point. And now the fourth thing is like the time constraint, because I know a lot of you guys might be working full-time jobs, you might be students, you might be working part-time, or have some other commitments. And that's fine, that's completely normal, right? Especially when I got started in this whole shadow operating thing like 3 years ago, I was working a full-time sales job. So basically from, I think 8 to like 6, and then of course transport on top of that. And the hours I got to work on shadow operating was at the night. So like, I think it was like 9 to 1 a.m., 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. is when I was doing the work. And don't get me wrong, I was super tired. Like sometimes I was forcing myself to stay awake. Probably not healthy, but look, it was only like for a couple months before I was actually able to launch and start generating revenue. So in my eyes, that was a worthy sacrifice. Now, I'm not telling you to force yourself to stay awake. What I'm telling you is just block out 1, 2, 3 hours per day. And if you can do that, then you're going to be able to make incremental progress in your shadow operating journey and actually be a step closer to making money online, which I'm sure is the goal of most of you watching, right? And so, like, of course, it requires effort, it requires consistency and time. So if you can find that 1 to 3 hours per day where you can just work on this, you will make progress. And even if you have a full-time job, even if you're studying, that's fine. Like, I'm not asking you to drop that, keep that going. Just what's the best way, in my opinion, is to use Google Calendar. So you can actually start blocking out your commitments. So let's say your job is 9 to 5, you want to block that out in your calendar. Obviously block out your sleeping hours because we need to sleep, right? Like, we're human beings. And then what else? Yeah, you want to block out that 1 to 3 hours per day in your calendar and then make it a non-negotiable, because those hours are what determines your financial future. And those are the hours that will make all the difference. Not the 9 to 5, not the sleeping, although sleeping is important, but like those hours is what's going to move you forward and kind of determine the future. So take them seriously. And so yeah, that's the fourth thing that I see, like not having time. Look, you got 168 hours in a week, all right? You sleep for 8 hours per day. And I think that's 50, okay, I won't do the maths, but like, what my point is, there are some hours in the day where you can work on this, okay? All right, let's move on to the fifth and final point, which is a lack of trust or like a lack of closing ability. Just basically not being able to get an influencer to work with you. And this comes down to a few reasons. The first biggest one, over social proof, is a lack of trust. So they don't actually know if you can pull this off. If you can actually build them a digital offer, start making money, start building this business together. They don't know that for sure. And that will come across if you are an experienced when you're talking with them. So usually the way it goes is like, you'll send these messages, you'll hop on a call with them, and then that call is where you essentially lay out the partnership idea and get them to work with you, right? So I'm specifically talking about that partnership call. So yeah, like it's very important to convey that you know what you're doing, because any sign of hesitancy, like any tone in your voice, anything that gives off the vibe that you don't know what you're doing, they will feel that and they will basically say, look, I want to think about it, or show me some testimonials, and that will pop up, right? Now the second one could legitimately be like wanting to see results. Now obviously if you're getting started, you don't really have results to show. So I'd recommend to just be honest and say, look, like the reason why I'm making this partnership with you and kind of like zero risk, because you're not asking for money up front, right? You're just taking a percentage of the revenue. Like the reason why I'm giving you a zero risk partnership is because this is actually my first time starting. But what I can promise you is you'll be my only client, and I will give you my full time and attention and effort. Now, when they hear that, I mean, I'll be honest, maybe not everyone will say yes, but a lot of people will say yes to that, because firstly, you've been honest with them. Like you're saying, look, this is my first partnership, which they'll appreciate. And then you're saying they are your only focus, which is another big advantage, like compared to maybe a bigger agency or some person who has like many clients who they will be one of many. They know that they're getting your full time and attention. And if you can actually show that through the call and like I'm going to be committed to you in this business, they'll feel that and they'll say yes. So that's what I'd recommend if they ask about results, if they ask about wanting to see testimonials on that call. Simply tell them the truth, but leverage your position where you are, right? So if you don't have results, say, look, you're going to be my only client, and there's zero risk for you. If you do have results, say, look, we have experience, we've done this before, we have these things to show you, compared to someone who's just getting started. So honestly, you just got to leverage what you can with what position you are in. But the cool thing is, you only have to do this once, right? Because if you can convince one influencer to work with you and you can pull this off for them, well then look, the next partnership call, you will have results and you will be able to leverage what you've done. So I think that's covers the fifth and final point. And yeah, like honestly, those were the 5 biggest challenges that I found you guys kept coming in the messages. And look, I think if you just take everything that I've given in this video and implement that advice, you will start making progress. And by the way, like I have a ton of results, so I'll just put that link down in the description as well. And I would encourage you to check out some client testimonials of mine where I've helped people get replies, get partnerships, get partnership calls booked as well. So like I'll put that down there and you can check it out. Other than that, I would also appreciate it if you guys could like and subscribe, as it helps the channel grow and helps me keep basically providing value like this. So final thing, please let me know any videos you want me to make, because at the end of the day, like I want to be helping you solve your problems and helping you answer these types of things and overcoming these challenges. So yeah, if you think of anything that you need help with, please put it in the comment section below as well. Other than that, thanks for watching and see you on the next one.